There are tons of business podcasts to choose from, but only one has the stamp of approval. Kristin Stampini is South Florida's leading real estate entrepreneur and your trusted source for everything real estate.
I would like to welcome our listeners and thank you for joining us today for an episode of our podcast, The Stamp of Approval. I'm Kristin Stampini, co-founder of the Stampini team with RE/MAX in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm also a certified real estate coach with the Craig Proctor Systems and the owner of Global Virtual Real Estate Assistants. I'm a national trainer and public speaker, and my husband Mark and I are also real estate investors. The Stamp of Approval podcast was launched to share and educate other realtors, consumers, and other business owners across North America by sharing value and content to our listeners in each and every episode. I share my experiences and my triumphs and my failures and strengths throughout my entire life with the hope of my audience being able to expand their knowledge on everything real estate, business, sales, and mindset oriented. So today I have somebody who I have followed for years and years, and that is Lori Ballen. She is an entrepreneur who owns several businesses from real estate to shampoo. She earns 6 figures in affiliate marketing. And, you know, Lori's heart belongs to teaching, and she often says that money isn't enough. It has to be teachable to matter. You know, her real estate team has closed thousands of transactions, and she regularly ranks in the top 1% of Las Vegas. Her specialty is in search engine and social strategies. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. So talk to us about, you know, there's so many agents out there that, you know, some of them actually have pretty decent databases, but they are not, you know, and if they actually worked in their database, they would have a lot more closings in real estate or any business out there, right? It's about your database. So talk to us about database cultivation.
Okay, you know, it's very interesting. Being a marketer, of course, by nature, I really understand the concept of having a good database, cultivating your database, connecting with it, making sure that we have all of the information. And I think this is someplace that a lot of real estate agents don't put a lot of effort in. Somebody asked me just the other day, they said, Lori, if you were to go back to the beginning of your real estate career and do one thing differently, what would you do? And I said, my first hire would be a database manager, not somebody to do my transactional paperwork. The first hire would be a database manager because there's nothing more important. And now, even today, with the disruption in our industry, with how we real estate agents are at risk of just this massive disruption from the portals, the database, in my opinion, is the only thing that's going to help real estate agents survive. The real estate agents that do last the longest are going to be the ones that are cultivating their database, because if you have a list of people that when they think of real estate in a particular area, they think of you and they're loyal and they send you people over and over again, whether that's real estate agents in your database sending referrals or buyers and sellers sending you referrals, when you're that person, you're not as likely to lose them to an online portal that's offering to buyers, you know, help them buy or sell their house online without a realtor. So that is one of the reasons that I'm so super passionate about a real estate agent database.
I love that. You know, that you said that database management is the first hire that you would have. I think that's pretty brilliant. Yep. So
it's easier than people think to have that happen. I just didn't really think of it as a concept back then.
So what do you do to cultivate your database, and do you have systems and processes in place, and what does that look like?
Yeah, and I think it's ever changing. Back when I owned my catering company in the 90s, our database was a card file with 3x5 or 4x6 index cards. You remember
Yeah.
those days? Yeah. And still, I worked it really strategically. I remember I had a room, and I just had these huge stacking drawers, and it was so organized of all my contacts on 4x6 cards. And then we got the old ACT database. When that came out, that was a big deal. And over time with real estate, I've gone from, you know, top producer to contextually to all the different, you know, broker provided databases. And now I'm at the point where I'm using a much more advanced system that has all the bells and whistles, because I'm somebody that really does work a database, and I want to be able to search by, like, if I want to send a referral to, somebody in Boston, I'm going to go to my database and I'm going to say, show me a real estate agent that's in Boston that speaks Spanish, that has a 55 plus designation, or whatever else I want to find in there, right? That I've done 3 deals with in the past 10 years, or I've done a deal with in the past, whatever. And I'm able to find those people because of how we keep our database scored, and I can find everybody. I know buyers and sellers, we have them fill out a getting to know you form when we go under contract with them. And the getting to know you form asks them everything from what's your favorite sports team, to what's your favorite treat, to what's your favorite coffee, your favorite author, birthdays, anniversaries. And if they want to put in information about the kids' birthdays without years and giving too much personal information, we can reward the kids. Then what we can do is, send them gifts related to, when special events happen. Now, I have a scoring system in my database, and this is something that's, I think, unique to us. And when a buyer or seller closes on a house with us, whatever the amount of the commission is, it becomes a score. So let's just say a seller sells a house with us and it's a $12,000 commission, right? Commission's always negotiable, never standard. Let's just say it's $12,000. I'm going to give them a score of 12,000. Now, when they refer to us, another buyer or seller, or they buy a second or third house, whatever that commission is gets added to their score. Now I always know who my VIPs are. I do the same thing with my shampoo company, with my marketing company, with my teaching and training company, with my affiliate income. I know how much people spend and refer. Then I can reward appropriately. Even sometimes it even means rewarding my time. Like if somebody asks me a question and they want me to look at their website and give them an opinion or blah, 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 I can go to my database and see what their score is and determine whether or not I want to spend 30 minutes reviewing that person's website, or do I want to send them a link to hire me for consultation, because it might be different based on that person. So I believe in rewarding loyalty. And having that system allows me to do that. And I couldn't do that in a basic database. You could do it on a spreadsheet, but it's going to be a lot of manual stuff. So we have systems that do a lot of that for us now.
Wow, I've never heard of anybody scoring like that. How much? No, I think it's great.
Yeah.
So what type of systems do you have, to follow up with the people, the database?
Follow up. So what we actually use something called Infusionsoft. I think it's now called Keep. They're changing the name of it, or it got bought out or something. And everybody on our team has their own dashboard. So our dashboards are all custom to each of us, so that we can put in what's important to us. And we have appointment things in their dashboard, and we have tickler files. And so we have campaigns that allow us to say, okay, if this lead comes in, then set up these reminders. And it'll say call within a week, or it'll automatically send an email. We even have automated text. So our system will send an automated text. So for example, I've got a keto weight loss coaching program, and on Mondays, everybody in my group gets a text from me. And the text says, hey, I just want to see how it's going. And then when they respond, I don't even know the text went out. When they respond, now it goes to my email, and now I know that person's waiting for a response by text. I can actually email them, and it texts them back.
Wow.
I know, it's really cool. So we have the same thing for our real estate leads. We have a text system that sends text messages until they either talk to us, tell us to go away, or it's a 1-year plan, I think, and then we finally put them in the couldn't reach folder. But it's a series of text messages that go out, and they're really cool because the person can click a text and say, we'll say, hey, we noticed you registered for houses. Are you receiving the kind of homes that you like? And then the answers, it gives them a multiple choice answer, like yes, no, or I need to change something. And then when they click that, it gives them another option. And then it tags the database so that we know that person is actively looking, and now one of our agents can follow up with them directly. Or it'll spin them off into a new campaign that they now start getting cultivated. So
you have a system for every single person on what you're sending them and how you're responding to them.
Oh, yes. And our birthday campaign is our best one. That one is pretty standard, where once we have their birthday in there, it sends them a text message. Hey, I'm just thinking about you on your birthday. We have a greeting card system. It goes from our database, sends out a greeting card. We can even send gifts by adding a tag to our database. I can send a new baby gift basket or a box of cookies or whatever. And I really believe that is what put me on the map in real estate to begin with was greeting cards, was sending. Every time somebody sent me a referral, I would send greeting cards and
brownies. I got them. I got brownies from you, from Send Out Cards.
Yes, and now everybody's doing brownies, so they're no longer special. It was the coolest thing. And guess what else I did? Every time somebody would friend me on Facebook, now I need to get back to some of this, but it got away from me a little bit. Every time somebody would friend me on Facebook, I would send out a card to their house that says, hey, or to their office, thanks for connecting with me on Facebook. This is who I am and what I do. I'd love your referral in Las Vegas, Nevada, Lori Ballen team, blah, blah, blah. And then we'd go to the conventions, and I would intentionally, whoever I'm with, I'd say, hey, when people come up, take a picture of us.
Yeah.
Now,
You've always done that.
Yeah. And so then afterwards, I come back with their picture and I put it on the front of a greeting card, and I, make us look all pretty, and I send it to them. And I'll tell you what, people would put them on their bulletin boards, their refrigerators, their whatever, forever. Like, I still have this Lori Ballen wall. People would tell me that's got a birthday card. It's got our picture from a convention, and it's got a new baby or congratulations or anniversary or wedding. And they would put them all together like in a section, like it looks like a shrine. It's funny, but that kind of personal connection is what got me where I am.
Well, and you're an open book. So, your personal connection, your open book, you share things that people don't share, but they relate to big time, right? Yeah. So those are just a few of the things. So talk real quick, just a couple minutes about blogging, because you do such a great job of blogging, and you do it. What's important? Consistency. Talk a little bit about blogging.
Well, blogging, it depends on what you're going to do. I blog for search engine rankings. That's my primary focus when I'm doing a blog. If you're blogging for social media, to get followings, it's going to be a little bit different. So I blog primarily for search engine traffic. So if somebody types a question or something into the search engines, like, what is the cost of living in Las Vegas? Why is Las Vegas a good place to retire? What are the best gated communities in Las Vegas? I want them to find my website. And so I blog about all of the questions that people would ask that they type into Google. And I find those through Google, through Quora.com, through my search engine tools. I have complete lists of everything anybody ever types into the search engines. And so I create blogs around those things. So if those are real estate examples, how do I sell a house during a divorce? How do I buy a house with no money down? Those are all the blogs that I write, or I have writers write. Because now that I'm not actively selling, it's a little bit harder for me to write all of the material myself. So I hire writers on my marketing team and elsewhere that now help me with the blogging. But I come up with all the topics.
So how is the fastest way? Like, how fast do you rank when you do that?
Well, you know what? There is no real rule. For me, I can rank in an hour because I'm known now. I'm established with Google. I'm an authority in my market. I'm number one in my market. Once you have an authority, you have proven recognition with Google that they believe you are providing quality content, you can rank pretty fast. When you're first starting off a website, it depends on how much you write, how strategic you are with your writing, how deep you dive into your topics, what your competition in your market looks like, what platform are you using, is it mobile friendly? So it could take, you might never rank, or it could take years. But typically, a blog post sees its top ranking at about the 6-month mark. So how, it's going to climb, it's going to climb, it's going to climb, it's going to climb. It's usually going to settle about that 6-month mark. So, but I can go to number one if it's a topic nobody else is talking about, and I do a really great job on it. It just, it's going to vary based on all of those factors.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. So just for our listeners, just give a couple tips that you have on blogging and on your database to go ahead and close this episode up?
I would say on your database, pick something that you're going to use, right? And make sure that you are reaching your customers in a quality way. Canned crap, how spring cleaning tips are not going to reach your audience anymore. It's got to be stuff that they believe is quality. So you really have to start thinking about what's going to be valuable to my person and how can I connect with them on that level. And as far as blogging, I would say the best place to start is with questions your clients are asking you. The next time you're out with a buyer or seller and they ask you a question, that's your next blog post. And when you write, be super, super in depth with it. If you don't want to write, you can actually make a video and have it transcribed, and that can become your blog post. So there's lots of different ways to do it. Don't get caught up in the fact that you have to
I like
write.
that. So how many times do you do your, give us a couple tips in a blog of how many times you need to mention, the question or to rank for rankings?
You don't anymore. Google's smarter than that now, and they read topic. I rank for keywords that aren't even written in the blog anywhere because Google's smart enough to read a topic. So you don't have to even think about that. You just answer the question. How do I buy a house with no money down? Answer the question. Don't even think about keywords. Now, there are some best practices where, make sure that your title has a keyword in it. Make sure your intro has a keyword in it. Make sure your image has a keyword in it. But that's just kind of like, you don't even need all that anymore. Just just really answer the question. And if you do that and you're the best answer to the question, you're going to rank without any keyword strategy.
And how long does it need to be?
It just as long as it needs to be to answer the question in its entirety. I can rank on a new restaurant review in 150 words. But if I'm going to talk about how to sell a house, it's going to be thousands of words because it's going to be that in depth. You're going to have to cover it. So it needs to be as long as it takes to answer the question in its entirety. Okay. Without fluff, without anything else. You just answer it the right way.
Is it better to do a written blog or a vlog, video vlog?
Well, if you do a blog, video blog, you're going to get you're going to get views from YouTube. And if you convert that and put it onto a blog, you're going to have the best of both worlds.
Ooh,
now,
there are
some people, it's super easy to do. I've got trainings on all of those processes on my YouTube channel. But if you're better at video, do video. If you're better at writing, do writing, but one can be converted to the other so that you're cross-platform. There are techniques and ways to do that. But there are people out there that are killing it just on YouTube. There are people that are killing it just on Facebook. There are people that are killing it because Facebook even has a blog platform. There are people that are doing it just on their own channels. So there's lots of ways to do this.
Yeah, but those are some great tips to get started. So thank you so much, Lori. Why don't you tell everybody, all of our listeners, how they can, if they want to take, because you do a lot of webinars and you have, so much different information and you own so many different businesses and do so much. What's the best way for them to look what you do and how how they maybe can connect to you or also to give you a referral in Las Vegas for real estate?
Yeah, great. Thank you. They can find me on Facebook, Lori Ballen, and I've got lots of groups. They'll see it if they type Lori Ballen into the search bar. LoriBallen.com is my website, and you pretty much find all things connected to me there. And then I also own a digital marketing company, Ballenbrands. And in Vegas, Lori Ballen team for your Las Vegas referrals.
Awesome. Well, thank you, listeners, and thank you, Lori, for being a guest on our episode today. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.